Hi, I'm Troy LaValle. A little backstory before we get started. This piece here is because I've been seeing a lot of negative stuff posted to my wall from people that are offended by the things that people say to veterans and soldiers, and it got to me, so I figured I'd put this out there. This piece is called Am Unapologetic. I've had several of these encounters over the years, and now I'm sharing. For the sake of this narrative, the individual is a female. I've been confronted by both males and females. Something about me alerted the individual that I was serving or I had served, my uniform, haircut, or tattoo. She gets up in my face and she shouts, "War is horrible. You should be ashamed and sorry for yourself and what you've done. You killed innocent people, and the way you treated those prisoners at Abu Ghraib. You're a disgrace, and you don't feel sorry, and you don't care about those innocent people." In my mind, I'm saying this lady is so lucky that I've had my father, drill sergeants, and senior leaders in my face for years. So I've got this. There's that moment when I wanted to say, "Look, bitch." We have a habit of using canine descriptors for people. But I didn't, because I remembered the great female canine fur people who have been brilliant and were a part of my life, and I don't want to discredit the canine community. My mind races as I keep my composure, and I realize that I'm dealing with an individual that was similar to the type of person who spit in my dad's face after Vietnam, who thinks they're a hippie, who represents great peace, while being all up in my face spewing their rhetoric with a hateful presentation. So much for being an agent of peace. I tend to let them go for a bit so that they can have their word, and when I've had enough, I ask, "Are you done?" I'll ask you, "Are you done?" 3 times, and then I'll cut you off so that I may have my say. If they say, "Yeah, I'm done," then I take a few nice deep breaths, say, "Okay, it's my turn." Usually, they're like, because they act like their rhetoric was strong enough to stand alone, and how dare I question it and argue with them. And I begin, and I keep calm, because it's very unnerving to people when you don't give them the emotional reaction that they were expecting. And I say, the only thing that I'm sorry about is that you're feeling this way. I would like to thank you for your non-service. You helped save a great number of lives through your absence. Had you served, you would have claimed a conscientious objector status, which is a coward's way of saying, "I'm afraid to die, and my oath of enlistment means nothing." And you would have gotten the members in your unit killed had you served. I served so that you didn't have to, and I'm glad that I did, because I made a much better soldier than you would have. You're absolutely correct that war is horrible, but if you believe that it's horrible because you saw some pictures, videos, and sound bites on your big screen being delivered by your favorite news source or books, then you haven't a clue. Until you've experienced it, you can't really speak on it and how horrible it truly is. In war, people die, and sadly there are times when innocent civilians perish. But I can assure you that I've never killed a civilian, nor have any of my fellow soldiers that I served with. Every person who died because of my unit was actually an enemy combatant who were armed and trained, and we afforded them every opportunity to surrender. We took great care of our enemy prisoners of war, and we cared for the civilian population with our humanitarian efforts. As far as Abu Ghraib, I wasn't even in that war, but thanks for being stereotypic and presumptive. As far as me not feeling anything, you were wrong. That's very narcissistic of you to believe that you have permanent residence in my mind and know how I feel. I will not dwell on this encounter, but I may recall it from time to time. If I had to claim any regrets, it would be that my government stopped us from taking Baghdad in 1991, resulting in more deaths from our brothers and sisters in arms later down the road. For my government turning its back on the civilian populations who rose up against Saddam Hussein. I carry, and many of my brothers and sisters carry, a lot of guilt over a number of things, especially our brothers and sisters and civilians that we couldn't save. 22 soldiers and veterans die from suicide per day because we feel too much. You need to redirect your anger towards the government, because the government is responsible for the declarations of war. Soldiers are just an extension of the government. We do our level best to protect and provide for the civilian population. And whether you like it or not, I serve to protect all American lives, to include yours, because I love all of my fellow citizens, even when they act unlovable and don't love me back. If you're waiting for an apology for my military service, it's not going to happen. I'm proud that I answered the call. And even during those times when I was frightened and I didn't necessarily agree with my government, I did not shirk my responsibility. And I honored my oath of enlistment, and there is honor in that. I have spent enough of my time with you, and I will bid you a farewell as I get Michael Jackson on you, and I say, beat it, and he's on down the road.